The important thing about nature and landscape is everything's connected. It gets very fascinating to start building up a picture of things and understanding how this area relates to other areas. And one thing I really want to emphasise is that it's so easy to take this area for granted, but it's very, very important. And I'll sort of explain why. This is an area right on the edge of a large town, and it is, if you like, traditional English countryside in a very small area. And a lot of people go along the canal and so on. This place has fantastic qualities, not just for landscape wildlife, but also for people. So it's a major resource, and that's an important message. One thing that you'll notice, we are lower than the village. So what I think is an interesting characteristic of the landscape of the parish, going from north to south, is you've got the high point at the top of the hill there, and then you come down gently. So you've got Netherhouse Copse and this area here. Now this would traditionally have been wet grassland, and in fact when I first moved in here 15 years ago, that field had fantastic plants like ragged robin and marsh bird's-foot trefoil. But can you begin to sense the kind of lie of the land here? And that's really important because that influenced the historic settlement and the different land uses. So clearly when you've got a dry south-facing hill over there, that's perfect for arable agriculture because it's free draining, got plenty of light, and it never gets waterlogged, so that's ideal. And that would have been, arable cultivation for hundreds and hundreds of years. But then this would have been, as you can see here and there, you've got the old drinking troughs of the cattle. So this would have been damp pasture. We're in the biggest drought for many, many years, so it's not as boggy as it would normally be in early April. But once you get puddles, you get plants like Glyceria, float grass, which is an aquatic plant, and that's in the seed bank. So in this seed bank, there's lots of wetland plants. But as we look towards the village, the street is really on the side of a very gentle hill, and beyond that to Cross Farm, again it's still a bit higher, and I guess traditionally that would have been, it's drier than here, so that might have been cultivated as well, although because it's a bit flat it does tend to hold water. And then beyond Cross Farm we go down into Zephon Common, which is a typical wet woodland. The streams come off the heathy acid area, so you've got lots of acid plants growing in Zephon Common. You've got 2 species of heather, you've got a plant called alder buckthorn, and you've got alder and birch and all sorts of different flora there. And then you've got the canal, and then you're going up to the third, so you've got the ridge at Cross Farm if you like, and then you've got the Poulter's Bridge hillock, that's Illiborough, some people call it. So you've got this really, in a very small area, you've got this very undulating, interesting landform that is one of the reasons why it's so diverse, and it's also one of the reasons why intensive agriculture. We haven't got just massive fields of really large-scale industrial farmland. I think the general principle we must bear in mind is this is we're in a domino sort of situation here, and once you get your foot in the door, then it'll all go. So this hasn't even been identified as a country park, green space buffer now. So if Grove Farm gets planning permission, I can't see any reason why this wouldn't go. Yeah. Pilcott and Cross Farm, which would really mean we're in a massive suburb. And the character of the road would have to change. It would really be like living in the middle of Basingstoke. So from wildlife point of view, it's the connections between the woodlands and the hedgerows. You see the back of the village though, we've got a fantastic, very varied vegetation. You've got the taller oaks and birches, you've got some hornbeam, you've got wild cherry flowering behind the pub area, you've got dense hawthorn, dense holly, and that's all linked. I mean, although this bit of hedgerows is pretty thin between, it's all quite nicely linked, and that's important.